Welcome to the Consulting Leaders Podcast, where we talk about the business of consulting. Whether you're looking to grow your practice or learn from the stories of leaders in consulting, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Guillaume Jouvencel, ex-PwC and co-founder of GHA Marketing. Join me as I interview the best consultants in their niche. Let's get on with the show. Frank, welcome to the show.
Good to be with you.
Happy to have you. Let's jump straight into it. What led you from operating roles in merger and acquisitions and corporate leadership into building Encore Leadership Advisors? And kudos for having a French word in the title of it.
Thank you. And again, it's good to be with you and your audience. I had a fantastic corporate career for the better part of 16 years. And in that, as you described, I certainly had the experience to run businesses, P&Ls. I got a lot of experience in acquisitions as well as recruiting people at the same time and retaining talent and the importance of that when it comes to building and running a successful organization. I had an interest in executive search from some exposure to it early on in my executive career, and it piqued my curiosity from the outset. So when the opportunity came along to be an owner of a executive search firm, I jumped on the opportunity and became the founder and CEO of Encore. Prior to coming the founder and CEO of Encore, I was an entrepreneur in private equity, small to mid-sized businesses, something that I still do as well. But Encore started out as an opportunistic investment opportunity, and then it expanded into something that it is today, which is a growing executive search firm that's national in scope. And I have the privilege and the honor to be the CEO and founder of it. So it is a certain passion that I have and an obsession as well.
What is the problem that you're solving now? Like, what is it that you're helping companies achieve exactly?
We're helping companies achieve their growth objectives. We're helping companies operationalize their business more efficiently and effectively. We're helping companies achieve bottom line profit objectives as well when it comes to EBITDA and operating margins, etc. So companies, small, medium, and large, have strategic priorities and objectives, and they need talent to drive and execute against those. And our company, Encore, provides those talent solutions to close those gaps for companies to really drive towards and execute against their objectives and growth strategies and priorities.
So tell me more about that. How do you? So in a service, what I like to do indeed is put myself in the shoes of the CEO and try to understand. Hey, that sounds amazing. Yes, I want great talent. How is that going to impact my bottom line? And I like that this is the first thing that you went to. But so break down for us how finding the best talents impacts EBITDA and bottom line.
Sure. Without it, it's virtually impossible to drive any strategy without the right talent and the right people. An organization of one has no possibilities to scale and grow, whereas an organization that's considered a corporation, a company, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 thousands of people, certainly has the capability to scale and grow as long as you have certain principles in place. And things that drive those principles are talent, people, principles like being best in class on service, principles like growing quarter over quarter at 5 or 10%, principles like having operating rigor and operating best practices so you can give your customers and clients the best experiences and outcomes. That takes talent to do that. And our company is charged with bringing that talent to the Fortune 1000, as well as privately held businesses across the United States.
Amen to that. Who are Who is it that you're trying to talk to, Frank? Like, who is it that you're helping now with Encore and with this talent um, finding, hiring, I guess ramping up? Who is your ideal client? Who is it that you help?
Yeah, ideal clients are the Fortune 1000 in a variety of different industries: financial services, private equity, industrial manufacturing companies, technology companies, healthcare, and nonprofit. That's where we do most of our work when it comes to industry. Our clients, when it comes to buyers, are chief human resources officers that reside in these companies. They're certainly divisional presidents, CEOs, and functional C level leaders in finance and technology and the like. Those are our buyers. And again, it's in the public markets, as in publicly traded companies, small, mid cap. That's our sweet spot, small and mid cap. And on the other side of the ledger is privately held businesses. It could be family owned, or it just could be a large privately held company as well, typically here in North America.
So I guess it's gonna be you want to get in front of the talent managers, of the head of recruitment, CHRO. Is that who you're trying to talk to in those Fortune 1000 companies?
Yes, and certainly, and you did mention one that's also valuable is someone who's running talent acquisition. So your chief talent acquisition officer or head of talent acquisition is certainly also a buyer that we work with closely.
And it's interesting because in your case, there is really the you need to nurture and build relationships with those hiring managers, talent acquisition managers, but also with the candidates, right? How do you, I guess, in your marketing strategy, how do you do both, especially in such a variety of niches, right? Financial services, nonprofits, healthcare, industrial manufacturing, private equity. Was at the end of the day, it's people, right? And people is at the center of it all. But how do you build the brand awareness and the marketing channels to reach all those people at the same time, and both on the recruiting and candidate side? How do you do that?
Yes, we have a methodology that is certainly broad in scope and it's been honed over the years. We have what you call executive search consultants and professionals that work for the company. They're great and talented people, and they manage the candidate relationships. I typically, and someone like me in business development and client facing roles, manage the client relationship. So we typically cultivate the relationships with the clients. We bring the clients into the business, give them a wonderful experience around value because we drive value to our clients. That's why they work with us. Our value could be solving a complex problem in transformation. It could be solving a intricate problem in finance. It could be solving a multi-layered problem in branding and marketing. So we get a client into the business, and then our search consultants work with the client on candidates. They work with candidates on giving them a real bridge, if you will, to what the client's needs and objectives are. And then we bring those things together for a total solution to our clients.
So I like the positioning. What has worked for you guys and Encore to brand and market? Like, what is getting those talent acquisition managers or head of talent acquisition to come and knock on the door? I'm not talking yet about sales, right, and like building this relationship, but more like what has worked for you, Frank, to get those people to knock on the door.
Sure. This is a relationship driven industry. So we're fortunate to have relationships across those sectors: private equity, financial services, manufacturing, industrial, and the like. We're really involved in the marketplace in a variety of different settings, conferences that are very industry specific. We also are always in the marketplace when it comes to utilizing social. We use social for content to convert that into commerce when it comes to driving client relationships and client engagements. And we're in the marketplace 6 days a week doing some type of marketing, some type of business development and branding to bring business in and to increase our brand equity when it comes to the marketplace, because this is a hyper competitive market. So differentiation is everything, and part of that is branding.
Amen to that. How how do you go from this, from those relationships, Frank, from this branding, from this presence on the market, to a conversation, a sales conversation, an SOW, a letter of engagement, we rock and roll and we're gonna find you the best talents. How does sales motion look like for you?
Yeah, the process is we schedule a meeting with a potential client, whether it be virtual or in person, and we do a discovery type of meeting with that client, exploratory meeting on what their strategic objectives are, where their challenges and headwinds may be, and what type of talent are they looking for in the marketplace to close those gaps and execute against those strategies and solve those complex multi-layered problems. That's where it starts. And that's based on being in the market, scheduling a discovery meeting with that particular client based on the relationships that the firm has throughout the US in those various industries. That's the first step in the process of business development and selling.
And what's the next step, if that's the first?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, good question. The next step is once we have assessed the initial challenges and also objectives of the client, then we go into a deeper discussion in another exchange with the client, probably in person, at the very least virtually. And then from there, we develop a solution. We present that to the client to actually engage in client work and fulfillment and execution.
I like that because the way you break it down, Frank, is pretty much it's the continuity of that relationship building. It's just that now we are doing this in the context of what's the needs, what's the gap, how can we fill that gap, and here is what we're gonna do to fill that gap together. I guess one of the big challenges that I see in high ticket professional services firms, but especially in talent, in recruitment and in headhunting, kind of, is well, you've placed the talent, and then what? Like, how do you maintain a relationship with that talent acquisition manager? How do you not make the most out of a client, but keep on building the relationship so that you're the first one in line when there is another need and another need and another need? How do you optimize for, if not recurring business, reoccurring business? How do you do that?
Yes, by maintaining the relationship,
Makes
keeping,
sense.
yeah, no, keeping in contact with the candidate as well. We have an onboarding process where we make sure the candidate is onboarded properly, thoroughly, and seamlessly. So it's valuable to the candidate and our client. That's a big point of difference as well. And then preceding that, we provide thought leadership to our clients around their various challenges or where we see opportunities in their industry, perhaps even in their competitive landscape. So we're always in front of them periodically throughout the course of any given month or quarter, providing that thought leadership to our client unsolicited. And when opportunities come across their desk, we're always top of mind because we're staying in front of them, not just to follow up and say, hey, how's our candidate doing? But we're providing thought leadership, content, and materials that are relevant to their business and to their industry specifically throughout the course of any given quarter or year. So we're staying in front of them in that context as well.
Can you tell us a bit more about how you do that? How do you do constant thought leadership and kind of a market reminder that you're here to help, and that you keep on providing value without being overwhelming? And in your words, whilst all this being unsolicited. So how do you keep on providing value without overwhelming the clients? How do you do
Sure.
that?
It's certainly an art and a science to that. You have to know your audience, meaning knowing your client. And we do know our clients well. Some clients want more high touch than others after an engagement has been executed and fulfilled and completed. Some want less. So we know that based on understanding who our clients are and their culture and their personalities. And once we understand that, we then send them a piece, whether it be monthly or quarterly in some cases, or in some cases semi annually. But it's always relevant material to the industry, to their company, and in many cases to the competitive landscape as well. And they find that valuable because it's not, hey, how are you? It's not that kind of reach out. It's a valuable reach out around their industry and how we can perhaps provide them with some interesting ideas as they continue to think about their business and driving their strategic priorities and objectives.
Love that. I like your style, Frank. So
Hmm,
I'm gonna ask a little bit of a curveball question now, if you don't mind me.
sure.
What's um what's your number one challenge right now? What's the the one that you're trying to crack that once you crack, you're gonna take the whole thing to the next level? What would that be for you?
Yes. Um, Thoughtful question. Our number one challenge is consistent scalability. We work in a fragmented space. There's the larger bulge bracket companies. There's about four of those, five actually. And then there's boutiques that are throughout the United States and parts of the world that we compete against. So the key for us is to have our brand out into the market so we have that point of difference when it comes to our clients and potential clients in the marketplace. So what we're working on consistently is a push strategy on branding and marketing to pull business into the company. That is our number one, two, and three focus. Hence, I'm talking to you, and I do this throughout the United States as well, in print, in podcast, in cable, in television, because it's important that our brand equity is compelling and it is also pervasive throughout the markets.
I like this multi-channel approach. Is there one that is particularly more efficient than the others for you, or do you? Because the question I was going to ask is like how you think about solving this challenge, but you've already answered that question. So
Mm-hmm.
if we go even a little bit deeper, is there something specific that you've seen working well? Because there are people listening to us right now who are facing the same problem. And I think in a day and age where anybody can claim anything on the internet, trust and brand has never been more important. So for you, Frank, is there something that you've seen working better than the others? What's the thing that you may be wanting to double down on, or is that multi-channel strategy the thing that is bearing the best results? Like, what's your thoughts on this?
Content on social and on podcast is the most democratized, the most efficient, and certainly the most ubiquitous. So that is our solution when it comes to what's most important around our multi channel branding strategy. And my objective is to do at least at a minimum one podcast a week because that's what it requires to penetrate the market broadly and consistently around messaging and what your value is.
I mean, don't get me started on podcast. On the other side of the coin, Frank, what's a big opportunity that you see for you for Encore Leadership Advisors in the next 3 to 6 months? Like, what is something you're excited to work on?
Yeah, I'm excited to continue to build the business with attracting the best talent in Encore because our brand is becoming more and more recognized. So
Interesting.
I'm very excited about bringing in talent to continue to scale the business on an accelerated pace. Very excited about second quarter as well as third quarter of 2026 when it comes to that talent within Encore. The other thing that I'm excited about and look forward to is getting in front of audiences like this and others when it comes to telling our story, talking about our points of difference and our value and how we do things in a way that's best in class and best in market. So I'm excited about those two opportunities in the near term.
I like that the big opportunity is finding the best talents in the talent acquisition firm. That's a great one.
Yes.
Is there something that we didn't touch upon, Frank, that you want to share that you think might be useful for our audience of high ticket professional service firm owners? Like what did we didn't talk about that you'd like to share?
Yeah, one thing that I would leave your audience with to have a successful professional services firm as a leader of the firm or the founder of the firm or an executive of the firm is consistency and obsession. Total immersion is what this requires. Why does it require that? It's a hyper competitive space like technology. It's a hyper competitive space like television and media. So to be ahead of the pack, you have to be thinking about what differentiates you and then communicating that messaging on a consistent basis. If you're not doing that, your success probability is extraordinarily low. If you are doing that, a breakthrough, if it already hasn't happened, is certainly imminent because you're doing more than the pack. The last thing I would say is as you're building and growing your firm and driving branding and bringing in clients, when you think about your talent internally for your company, hire for your weaknesses. It is very easy for me to hire people that are like me, that are storytellers, that communicate well, that enjoy branding and being in the market. Very easy for me to hire people like that because that's my personality and style and strengths. But I look in the market to hire some people like that because that's necessary to scale the business. But I'm more so looking for people that complement what I do operationally, complement what I do on strategy, where that's their strengths, that's their strong suit. They enjoy getting into the minutia, into the weeds to complement my strengths. So hire for your weaknesses.
Frank Clark, ladies and gentlemen. Frank, if people want to find out more about you, Encore Leadership Advisors, where should they go?
They should go to EncoreLeadershipAdvisors.com, and my email is frank@EncoreLeadershipAdvisors.com.
We will put all the links in the description. I can say one thing for sure, Frank, it's that you've gained at least one new connection on LinkedIn out of this interview. I'm just done adding you. Frank, thank you so much for coming on the Principal Podcast.
Great to be with you. I've enjoyed the exchange.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Consulting Leaders Podcast. We hope you learned valuable lessons on how to grow your practice and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.